The mind processes over 3,000 thoughts every second. There's no way in the world we can capture all of those. But the mind also has key thoughts throughout the day that are more than worthy of being recorded.
Hey, a big welcome back to the Ask Bo Parrish show. I'm Dave Erickson alongside Mr. Bo Parrish. If you have a question for Bo, use the hashtag AskBoParrish on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. Very simply put, from Steven today, Bo, my wife keeps telling me I should start a journal to document my goals. Steven says, why should I, and isn't a journal the same as a diary?
Steve, wow, that is a phenomenal question, and I can see your reservation initially. Number one, because it was suggested by your wife. Number two, because journals seem to be synonymous with women. So the fact that it was coming from your wife and she's asked you to use that phrase of journal, I can see why you might hesitate there. But if you take it for what it really is, it is a collection of your written thoughts, okay? The mind processes over 3,000 thoughts every second. There's no way in the world we can capture all of those. But the mind also has key thoughts throughout the day that are more than worthy of being recorded. And here's the kicker, and something very easy for us to all remember, is that once we put a thought to pen, it becomes committed to memory. Because what we know, that which is written, is remembered. And if we have a collection, call it a journal, call it a collection of thoughts that we have, at the end of the day, we have something to look back upon. We have something to study. Someplace, somebody in the world wrote every single textbook that's been presented in a school classroom throughout history. Well, in order for that textbook to have been produced, that person needed to live that experience or had some in-depth working knowledge to the point where they took the time to record it. So when it comes to your goals, what it is you want to accomplish, and let's just call it your potential, which you know we would like to define as the difference in life and where you are now and where you would like to be, okay? Could you start out by writing down where it is you want to be? Because that may change from day to day. If you have it written today, then you have something to pursue. If you wake up tomorrow morning, it's still written down because you recorded it yesterday. That way you can start to you can track your consistency in your thoughts. Now, here's an interesting study. Now, this isn't just any university throughout the country. This is Harvard University. There was a study done at Harvard University in the early 1990s that said 89% of Harvard graduates never took the time to record their goals 5 years post-graduation. And then, so that was 89, and then another 7%, which would make that 89 plus 7, that would be 97. Another 97%, so that other 9%, they had written goals, but they never pursued them just because life got in the way. Only 3% of the entire Harvard class that had written goals and looked at them on a regular basis. See, that's the key. There's a big difference between writing them down and reviewing them, because reviewing them was that icing on the cake that allowed 3% of the entire graduating class of Harvard in the 1980s to actually accomplish their goals. So here's the thing. The advice might have been coming from your wife, which you may or may not like, but the fact is there is incredible truth in that advice she's presenting, is that the more you write, the more likely it is that you are going to accomplish what it is you write, because words paint a picture. Think about it. If you're consistently looking at your goals and you're visualizing them and you're living it as if it's already happened, then it's only a matter of rehearsing the steps you've already played out in your mind that's going to carry you to the successful execution of those goals.
One other thing about that is that you can also see a pattern of your thoughts and your desires. And there's also the idea that if you put it out to the universe will bring it to you or present it to you. Yeah, it's a great review process, even if it's just not, if it's goals, if it's emotions. I can see a lot of positives with that as well.
Well, and I love the aspect that you apply to it, patterns, is that we tend to think strategically and in certain directions, which could also be known as patterns. And if we find the common theme, it can truly benefit us and carry us throughout life when it comes to our personal goals, our business goals, our relationship goals, our fitness goals, any type of goals that we have. We will tend to develop patterns that can help lead us to the execution of those goals.
Stephen, thanks very much. If you have a question for Bo, use the hashtag AskBoParrish on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. Bo, thanks very much, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave. Stephen, great question. Really appreciate it, sir.